So today, something major happened, and this has experts worried that this is going to take place more and more here in the United States. So I'm going to break down what happened today. Very big story. You may have heard it already, but there are some interesting things happening because of what took place today in New York City. So make sure you watch this entire video and I'll explain exactly what is going on. So here's something that you may not have even noticed, but previously, about a year ago, we would see protests at NBA basketball games. And people would try to jump on the floor, they try to attach themselves to the baskets, things like that, because they were protesting, certain things. Now I'm not getting into that today, but it's also happening today. Just look at this. This is a video from today. This is the Macy's Day Parade. These people that are laying down are getting poured fake blood on them, but their hands are actually cemented or glued to the cement. And this is something that we're starting to see. This is what politicians are worried about. They are worried that this next year, this is going to be one of the toughest years to campaign as a politician. One person said that this will be the most difficult year ever. The most difficult year ever. Simply because the election is in less than 1 year. And now that we're starting to see these protests ramp up, these protesters are gluing their hands to 6th Avenue during the Macy's Thanksgiving Day Parade. Let me show you some pictures as well. Okay? Let me show you this. Look at this picture. It says genocide then, genocide now. Okay? Free Palestine. Land back. That's one picture. Here's another one. We kind of just saw this, but again, pouring fake blood. It says colonialism on the person's shirt. Right? These are things that experts are now worried about. They are worried because we've seen this before, where Democrats would come and protest at a Trump rally. Right? We've seen this. MAGA Republicans would go and protest at a Biden rally, and even just Democrats running for Senate or just anybody running for election or re-election. This is what many politicians are saying, that this is going to create a very difficult scenario, which is also causing more politicians and many lawmakers right now to actually step down. They are going to resign. They are going to just retire their seat in the Senate or in the House. They don't want to keep that going because they are now saying that this is going to be the most difficult year ever. And I bring this to your attention because things are about to go from bad to worse. We already see there's a lot of controversy surrounding the elections, right? Ballots, right? Voting, right? Just campaigning in general. And we see this every single time there's an election. Every 2 years, this happens. So now what we're getting is the American people are concerned. Where are we headed? Now, I can't come on here and say that this war between Israel and Gaza is going to be over, or actually Israel and Hamas, but it's in Gaza. I can't come on here and say with much certainty that Israel is going to be done trying to get to Hamas. Hamas isn't going to surrender. We don't see that happening. And so the concern now is, how long does this war go on? Today, or actually tomorrow, on Friday, is supposed to be the first day of this ceasefire, where it's going to be a 4-day ceasefire. And in those 4 days, Hamas is going to release 3 to 1. Okay, so for every one person that Israel releases back to Hamas, okay, then we're going to see Hamas release one person. Okay, or actually every 3 people going back to Hamas from Israel, Hamas will release one hostage. It's a 3 to 1 exchange. This is supposed to go on, and a handful of people will be released every so often. What's concerning about this is there's no definitive end to this. We haven't heard from Israel that, okay, once we get all the hostages back, then we are just going to step back. We're going to pull back we'll pull back out of the area and things will be going back to normal. No, haven't heard that. Israel says they will not stop until Hamas is taken care of, until Hamas is done. The reason why this is such a big deal is because this could seriously go on over the next year. And right now, the American people are not forgetting about what's going on in Israel. Okay? They're not forgetting about that. They know what's going on in Gaza. We see this all over the news. We see this on Twitter and Facebook and Instagram and TikTok. It's now turning into a bigger crisis than what many people here in the United States thought it would be. I told you this from the beginning. If we see this go on for multiple weeks, it's going to cause more people to panic. It's going to cause the United States to have a difficult time, especially with Congress, passing a bill that's going to provide our government with funding, because we knew President Biden would then try to send more funding to Israel. Right now, we send $3.8 billion every single year to Israel. And on top of that, Democrats want to send an additional $14.3 billion. Republicans agreed, yes, we can send $14.3 billion. However, we're going to pull that from another Democratic priority, which was IRS funding. So, one thing I can tell you right now is all these protests are starting to ramp up. These protesters, and I want to be very clear on this, not everybody is pouring blood, fake blood, on their friends. That's not what they're doing. Some are very peaceful protests. They're just trying to get their voice heard. Others, which are more disruptive, like this one, well, those ones are going to be problematic for politicians coming up. So here's what I can tell you. We are about to see a very interesting campaign year. If you are going to attend a rally, just understand you may see protesters there. But what experts are worried about, and what the FBI has said as well, is they are concerned with two different sides coming together, and that's going to create a conflict here on U.S. soil. Because according to the FBI, according to Homeland Security as well, the biggest threat to the United States is already here in the United States. So let that sink in for a moment. But right now, that is what we know. I promise, as we get more information, as we get more updates as to what is going on, how this is going to play out here on U.S. soil, and how this will impact you, I promise I'll fill you in on all the latest news and updates. All I ask is if you can take just 2 seconds, go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoyed today's update. Also, click that subscribe button so you never miss an update. And I will see you guys on the next one.